This is not something that you should strive for. You guys may see these fragrances in the background of my videos, and that's just for viewing purposes. It's not a way to show off and say, oh, I have this many fragrances and I'm showing them off. It's kind of just because I'm a fragrance channel. I want to make my background relevant to fragrances, and other than just staring at a blank wall, they have to be on shelves anyway. Might as well put them behind me because this is my dedicated fragrance room after all, my office area. And so that's why they're there. But I don't want this to come across the wrong way. I don't want my videos to come across in the wrong way, because there's something that I kind of think about every single day as I go to choose my scent of the day, my fragrance that I want to wear. It gets increasingly harder, more challenging. And the reason why is because there are quite a few things that I can choose from. And for a lot of people, that may sound like a good problem to have. Oh, first world problems. Oh, you can't choose which fragrance you want to wear because you have so many. But realistically, it's kind of a burden. And so today, I'm just going to be spitballing here. No script, no list, no review. I'm just going to be going over kind of, I guess, the issues or the challenges with being in this type of position where you have a lot of fragrances in your collection. It may seem all amazing and great, and trust me, I'm very fortunate. I'm so thankful that I'm able to have all of these fragrances, and I have you guys to thank, because you guys tune into my channel on a daily basis and watch my videos and support myself and support my channel. And for that, I have no one to thank but you guys. But at the same time, if I didn't have this channel, I would not have this, and I wouldn't want to have this either, knowing what I know after being in this position. So new fragrances are coming out all the time. New releases constantly, okay? That's something that's going to happen and continue to happen for years and years. It's only ramped up, especially with flankers really starting to get rolling here. We're having flankers of flankers. We're having niche brands putting out flankers when they normally didn't do that. And bear in mind also that flankers have been out for a long time. I mean, back in the 90s, they were doing flankers. It's not a brand new thing, but it is becoming more modernized, much more common. And so it's going to continue to happen. New fragrances are going to come out. And so for myself, with this fragrance channel, I cover them to give you guys my input. If it's bad, I tell you. If it's good, I tell you. At the end of the day, I'm covering designers here, and all of those I pay for myself. There's a common misconception that I get kicked all these new releases for free. No, these brands really don't even know that I exist, more likely than not. I mean, a channel with 125,000 subscribers is big. That's a big deal. And again, thank you guys for that. But in terms of the eyes of these brands, Armani, Dior, Chanel, Givenchy, YSL, the list goes on. They would look at a channel my size and scoff. They'd be like, oh, he's not worth it. And to them, I'm probably not worth it. It wouldn't be worth it to them to go through the time to reach out to channels like myself and other fragrance channels that are either bigger or smaller than mine to send us new releases. It just isn't going to be worth it to them. So I do purchase all of these new releases. And again, the reason why I do that is because I have this channel. If I did not have this channel, you best believe I would not be purchasing all of these new fragrance releases right off the bat when they first come out, and I can promise you that. So when you see me putting out these first impressions and these reviews on new fragrances, it's not in a way to brag. It's not in a way for me to tell you that everyone should go out and buy this brand new release. It's me sharing my thoughts. Now, don't get me wrong. I do get excited when a new fragrance comes out and I like how it smells because, again, going back to what I just said, I did purchase that. If it's a fragrance line or a brand that I have a lot of respect for and I'm hyped up for the fragrance. I see it launched or kind of released, teased, so to speak, a few months before, and I'm searching the internet every day waiting for it to come out, and it comes out, and I buy it, and I get it in, and I smell it on camera with you guys for the first time. If I like it, I can't help but get excited. I think that's the passion. That's something that is normal. That's a good thing, right? If I smell a fragrance that I really liked live on camera to share with you guys for the first time, and I'm always just, oh, this is nice, oh, whatever. There's no passion left anymore. Why should I even be doing this if there's no passion? So I think it's a good thing to get excited over things that you like, and that's what happens. But at the same time, I don't want you guys to think that you need to feel inclined to therefore go out and purchase that new fragrance just because I happen to like it. It's going to be so circumstantial. Fragrance is a really weird hobby because it's so subjective. It's not like some sort of technology or, I don't know, tool or physical object where they're making concrete improvements that are scientific, where you can say, oh, hey, this new model of product is going to be better than the old model of this product, and here's the reasons why, and you have scientific, objective reasons why, right? It's not that. Fragrance is entirely up to opinion. It's entirely circumstantial. And so it's quite a bit different. It really is kind of a weird place to be in, having a channel like this and being able to reach a blessed amount of people like you guys who watch the channel. And I don't take that for granted. I just want you guys to understand that just because I like something doesn't mean you should go out and buy it right away, or just because I don't really like something doesn't mean that you should write it off and hate it. This is something I bring up often, whether it be in a review or a top 10. Give something a chance. Test it first, sample it first, try it first, smell it first, and don't just smell it off the first spray and make your judgment. Actually wear through the fragrance, right? Give it a chance. Really let it develop and maybe even wear it a couple times. I would encourage you to wear things a few times before you pass 100% judgment on it and either write it off and say that you love it or dislike it, right? You got to give things a chance, and things may start to grow on you over the years, or you may start to fall out of love with certain things over the years. And so kind of going back to what I was saying in the beginning, when I come down here, if I'm going to be going out and I want to choose a scent to wear, it can be tough, right? I'll be like, okay, I've got these options here. What could I wear? And so for me, sometimes it can be tricky, right? It can be tough to decide what to wear. And so, having all of these fragrances is not necessarily a great thing because it can be overwhelming. It could take a good few minutes for you to decide. And for me, to combat that, I kind of have a rule for myself where I'm like, okay, a lot of times I'll come down here and I'll have an idea of what I want to wear depending on the event that we're going to, or of course the temperature depending on what time of year. But if there's a day where, we're going out, we're leaving in 5 minutes, I come down here, and if I don't have anything in mind and I can't decide right off the bat, I basically just grab something at that point. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to entertain this idea of being so overly critical about what I'm going to wear. I just grab it. And the same could apply to a lot of you guys as well. If you have a collection of 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 300 bottles, the same could apply to you. 10 bottles in the grand scheme of things compared to most people out there are a lot of fragrances, at least for men. Women may be different. Perfumes for women, typically they'll be into it more, the general public. But for men, having 10, 15, 20 bottles, that's considerably more than most. And you will find yourself in that position as well. So my advice to you is just grab something. It's so easy to get caught up in the spring, summer, fall, winter, date night, daytime, formal, casual, all of that stuff. And while a lot of those categories do make sense, and while I also reference those categories on when I think a fragrance would be best suited for, at the end of the day, fragrance is a fragrance. If you like how it smells, if it makes you feel good, you should wear it no matter what time of the year, no matter what the situation is. One thing I've said before is that there's no instructions on the back of a fragrance box saying that, oh, you should only wear this for date nights after 8 p.m. in winter, but not when it's too cold, when it's nice calm winter, 40 degrees, none of that. There's none of that, right? In a way, it's just kind of something that is kind of talked about in the community. And while it could be important in some instances to choose the right fragrance, right? You don't want to choose something too sweet if it's really hot out or vice versa. A lot of times, it probably won't even matter that much. If you're struggling to pick something out, if you don't have something in mind, but you got to get your butt out the door and go to wherever you got to be, just grab something. At the end of the day, grabbing something and spraying it on would be 10 times better than not wearing anything at all. So again, hopefully this video maybe shed some light on some things. Again, I just kind of went into this one off the cuff, just kind of wanting to talk about this because it's something I think about every single day. When I come down here and choose my scent, when I come down here and record a video, I don't want you guys to strive for this. I don't want, something like this to be your goal, right? I don't think it should be. Maybe if you're so passionate, maybe sure, this could be something that you work for. But a lot of you guys, I just say, man, get a collection of 15, 20 fragrances that you're passionate about, maybe a bit more, and call that good. Maybe stick with designers and keep it affordable, and you would be set off. But to really strive for this, especially because a lot of this stuff is going to be niche, more expensive, it's not something that's realistic. It's not something that you need. And I can tell you from personal experience, having this many fragrances doesn't make me a happier person. That makes me feel very blessed, for sure. But really, you guys make me feel blessed, not the amount of fragrances, but the amount of you guys that tune in. But it doesn't make me a different person. It doesn't make me happier. It's just a byproduct of having this fragrance channel. And unless you have a fragrance channel, something like this really just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't want you guys to get caught up in that, thinking that you need to build up a collection like this to know a thing or two about fragrances. It's not at all the case. You can sample. You can rotate in and out. If you buy a new fragrance, maybe make it a deal for yourself that you sell an old one that you don't use. That's a really great way to go about it, not just with fragrances, but in general. If you're buying stuff for your house, decorations, whatever, if any women are out there that love to decorate like my girlfriend does, she'll try to garage sale some stuff, get rid of some stuff, sell it, whatever, if she gets some new stuff in, so we're not just piling up this constant hoard of things, kind of like my fragrance collection, which are also on the floor that I've talked about before. So that's really it, guys. Kind of just what it's like to have a fragrance collection like this, why it's not realistic for a lot of people out there, why you shouldn't make this your goal. Again, just kind of where I'm at with this. I don't want you guys to think I'm using you for getting more bottles. Again, I purchase all these. They're not freebies. There's going to be people out there that think that reviewers take advantage of people with, interest in fragrances and have addictions to fragrances. Maybe there is, but I know it's not me. I don't think it's probably most of us. I think we're all just sharing our passion, and we happen to be in a different place where we have kind of an audience that we are catering to versus people who don't, and they're buying this stuff with no real output for it. Alrighty, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.